If you've been following the Flash's adventures in the last year or so, you are aware that the Speed Force is only one of several cosmic forces, and 3 authors have been recently revealed. If you're a more involved Flash fan than I am, and you know about lore and updates that slipped right through my fingers, you might be able to easily poke a hole in my theory. If so, by all means go ahead, debunk it, destroy it in the comments. I'll just sit back and watch my ignorance go up in flames. Make my day!
I simply don't care!
However, it's possible you're new to this kind of thing, so I'll give you the rundown. You don't have to be special to possess Force powers in the DC universe. In fact, Gorilla Grodd and the other occupants of Gorilla City gain their enhanced mental abilities from the Sage Force. However, if you're lucky, you can end up becoming a Force avatar, and each Force has a unique way of imbuing its powers. The Speed Force, associated with electricity, strikes from the sky in a bolt of lightning, resulting in powers that go way beyond simply running fast. The Strength Force, associated with Earth and gravity, strikes from below. The lucky avatar, in this case Fuerza, or Powerhouse, honestly I'm confused, was set beneath the ground, likely screaming all the way before being encased by a rock cocoon. When it was over, she just popped out of the earth like a piece of toast with the power to move mountains. When Barry Allen was briefly connected with the Strength Force, he stated that this must be what it feels like to be Superman. However, I think he was wrong. When you're a Speed Force avatar, you can outrun Superman himself. Likewise, a Strength Force avatar can theoretically overpower the Man of Steel, if they can hold up against his many other abilities. The Sage Force, associated with fire, doesn't strike from any specific direction. Upon becoming an avatar, from all appearances you spontaneously combust. It's kinda scary. When you wake up, you're suddenly a super genius with telepathy, telekinesis, and the power to construct technologies that enhance your abilities or add new ones. The Still Force, being the antithesis of the Speed Force, primarily slows things down. It is associated with, honestly, I don't know, bubbles maybe? Initially, Barry Allen was led to believe that the Force avatars were the guardians of the multiverse. However, it is later revealed that forces and their avatars have existed in a state of conflict, threatening to tear apart the multiverse as they battle for the mysterious Forever Force. So what is the Forever Force? Maybe I'm just ignorant, maybe some of you guys know the answer, and I just can't find it because DC doesn't want me asking questions, so it made a deal with the system and the system broke bread with the—
You ever thought about decaffeinated coffee?
Here's my theory. I think the Speed Force is the Forever Force. Hear me out. Each force is completely distinct, right? Not quite. There is some overlap between the functions of the forces. For instance, both the Speed Force and the Strength Force involve motion, but out of all the forces, the Speed Force shows the most overlap. In addition to being fast, speedster Jay West, son of Wally West, can accelerate his muscle growth to take on a hulking form with super strength. That is almost exactly what the Strength Force can do, if the user allows it to increase their maths. The apes of Gorilla City credit the Sage Force for their intelligence. However, it is said that their minds were accelerated beyond their natural limitations by the Speed Force. Is the Speed Force synonymous with the Sage Force in this case? Speedsters can also enhance their intelligence by using their Speed Mind, which is capable of resisting mind control. That leaves the Still Force. Speedsters are able to steal speed in order to induce a very similar effect, turning victims into living statues. Jay Garrick's aging is slowed by the Speed Force. Similarly, the Turtle, a Still Force conduit, does not age. In fact, it would seem you can figure out a way to use the Speed Force for pretty much anything, even if it's seriously convoluted. I mean, you've got phasing, time travel, infinite mass punches, enhanced durability, energy constructs, suit fabrication, wind manipulation, cloning, lightning projection, and even DNA vibration that can cause weird transformations. I am not kidding. Convinced? Maybe you shouldn't be. Not yet, at least. The Speed Force has been canon much longer than the other forces, which means that it would naturally have more feats to speak of. Give the other forces some time and they'll probably rack up a long list of outrageous applications. However, the Speed Force avatar seems to have the most crucial roles in the existence of the multiverse. It was a speedster who banished the other forces when they threatened existence, and speedsters also brought them back. On multiple occasions, Barry Allen has helped save the multiverse. While there are a number of speedsters, Barry Allen actually generates the Speed Force, past, present, and future in every universe. And DC may have confirmed to us that he is the source of the other forces too. Flash writer Joshua Williamson says that the new forces are all aspects of Barry, at least in a way. The Strength Force exemplifies his strength of character. The Sage Force is described as being implicitly linked to his empathy, while the Still Force, and I quote, comes from the part of Barry that didn't move on after his mother's death. This could mean that Barry uniquely possesses the Forever Force. So it's not necessarily just the Speed Force so much as all the forces combined. We have one more thing to go on. The Speed Force is an essential part of time and space. In fact, it's the driving force that pushes the space-time continuum forward in the DC universe. Likewise, it can be used to manipulate time, with universe-altering consequences such as what we saw in Flashpoint. That sounds like a worthy definition of a Forever Force, wouldn't you say? If so, tell me what you think. If not, tell me all the same. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe and hit the bell.